Okay, YouTube, Errol here, the Comic Chief. It's time for a soft reboot of the way I do my recap, rant, review videos. So from here on out, I will be talking about the writing, the art, a brief as possible summary, the character progression, my favorite page or panel, my favorite aspect of the writing, and that's it. Oh, and the actual review. So my scale is a 1 to 5 star review, 1 being terrible, 5 being the best. For example, if I gave art a 1, writing a 1, plot 0, character 1, development 0, is it worth the price tag? Then it'll be 3 out of 5 stars. Does that make sense? We'll see. On to the review. So today we will be reviewing The Man of Steel, issue number 2. Drawn once again by Ivan Reis, Joe Prado, and Sinclair. So the art, it was drawn by various artists. I'm talking about the ones on the inside: Doc Shaner, Steve Rude, Jay Fabok, and the characters. We'll talk about the characters first. So there's Gendello and Appa. Ali Apsa, he's a member of the Green Lantern Corps from issue number 1 that we saw, speaking of Rogol. Trish Q, and a new character, Robinson Good. And those are the Arts and Leisure reporter and City Desk reporter, respectively. Superman / Clark Kent. The Toyman. The Green Lantern. Perry White. Yeah. In flashbacks, there was Lois Lane and John Kent. And then we had minor appearances. There was this character, a bartender named Oichio, and a cameo of Rogol Zar. So yeah, that's it. Now on to the plot. So the issue opens with Gendello scolding Appa Ali Apsa shortly after Krypton exploded. For more information on the explosion of Krypton, please refer back through the last 80 years of Superman stories we've had to this point. No, really. So yeah, the Man of Steel series, it flips back between past moments in Krypton and present day Metropolis. And when we first go to present day, we begin with Trish Q and Robinson Good. So they are gossiping in the Daily Planet, and it would seem that Robinson is prying for information on Clark Kent, joking around about how she can date him, and maybe this could be a new love interest for the Man of Steel. So that's the second one in the second issue in a row of women, no Lois presently. I don't know. So we cut to Superman in Coast City, where he's battling the Toyman. And as Superman is prepared to bring the Toyman to the local authorities, we get a spectacular cameo from none other than the Green Lantern. And that's a Hal Jordan Green Lantern. The dialogue between Green Lantern and Superman suggests that things are rocky for Superman's personal life. And without any specifics, Superman flies off before he could even answer any of Green Lantern's concerns. And as he's flying off, we cut to a flashback of where we left off on issue 1's awesome cliffhanger. And while the end of that issue had a bright white light staring them in the face, we finally get a look at what was staring them in the face. And Clark, Lois, and John were staring at a giant alien, some alien being with electricity storming from its overpowering face. I'm telling you, it's like 2-page spread. And as we hear John ask his dad what it was, we cut to a picture of the moon, or a panel of the moon, and it appears that Superman goes there to clear his head. And we continue to hear John via voiceover quotes. Dad? Dad, what is that? And we can see Superman crying by himself on the moon. So we change scenes to Taffy's West, which it's at the far end of the Vega system, out in space somewhere. And we find that bartender Oichio is serving a mysterious man. And this man's just listening to whispers and gossips from other bargoers. And we find Rogol's reflection in a locket bearing the House of El symbol. And he overheard that person speaking about Superman, the last son of Krypton, who escaped as a baby. So back to Superman. he's internalizing his conflict and knows he has to apologize to Hal Jordan for the way that he treated him and stormed off. While he's flying over Metropolis, he finds another building on fire. So that's another arson at this point. And at this point, Superman realizes whoever is setting the fires is now just trying to get his attention. It's obvious. So yeah, in issue number 1, there were a bunch of arsons. Yeah. As Clark Kent, he brings news of the arson back to Perry White at the Daily Planet. We come to find out that Perry's current problems are that his printing press, or the Daily Planet, it's a dying art, and that digital news reporting was going to put them out of business. So he's got his own problems. Yeah, like the issue ends with Perry, Trish, and Clark staring at a news channel breaking news report. Perry claims that they can't compete with stuff like that, and that there has got to be a story to put them back in the game. So right after he says that, we cut to the final panel of Rogol Zaar racing towards Earth on a space motorcycle. So are we gonna see him in the next issue? Yeah. So I gave a 1 for art. I give the art a 1 only because they cheated and had various artists. My favorite panel was that 2-page spread. It was page 14 and 15 of Fabok. And why? Not just because it's Fabok's art, but because we got a glimpse, our first glimpse of whatever was staring Clark and his family in the face. And this leads to my next point on writing. So I gave writing a 1. I give writing a solid 1, and it was a thumbs up for me because the 2 pages we get of Clark and his family are enough to keep me interested in reading the rest of this miniseries, and Action Comics, and Superman. So the suspense is killing me at this point, and I just want to know what they are about to face. I guess writing goes along with plot. So plot, I gave a 1. The plot's great. Was Rogol responsible for the destruction of Krypton? If so, this is a game changer because that changes the last 80 years of writing. And switching between past, present, and semi-past flashbacks, that's fine. They don't overdo it, and I like to see that this setup miniseries has a point to the overall Superman story so far. Character development, that's what it was, character development. I give that a solid 1. The character development is a win for me because it's nice to see Superman still doing his thing, saving lives, doing his daily routine, but to know that whatever happened to Lois and John has him emotionally torn to the point where he's blowing off his friends like Hal Jordan and missing Justice League meetings. So yeah. And then number 5, is it worth the price tag? Yes, absolutely, sure. At $3.99, that's a standard comic price. Well, there's no digital art or digital code, but yeah, if the writing, the art, the plot, and the character development are great, then yes, of course, the price tag's worth it. So this was a solid 5 out of 5 for me. This was a strong issue. Yeah, that's all I've got, YouTube. Thank you for your likes, shares, and your subscription, and most importantly, your time. This is Errol, the Comic Chief, and I'm going offline.